Shabbat Shalom. My name is Dan Jones, and I humbly and proudly serve as the president of the board of directors here at Beth Israel. Thank you for joining us for our Friday night Shabbat service. We are now transitioning into our installation of Rabbi Jason Nevarez. For those of you playing our home game, this is the first of 4 times I'll be up here this evening. 4 times, I know, right? Sheesh. Well, to start things off the portion of this evening, I'd like us all to extend a warm welcome to our fabulous Senior Rabbi Search Committee chairs, Kimberly Carno and Allison Golding.
Oh, now I feel bad. You didn't tell me about that. Good evening and Shabbat Shalom. My name is Allison Golding, and I currently serve as a member of your board of directors and membership and engagement committee co-chair. Along with Kim Carno, now immediate past president of your board, we were the co-chairs of the Rabbi Search Committee. We are beyond thrilled that this installation evening has finally arrived. Woohoo! 4 years ago, the search began. In January 2018, Beth Israel kicked off a self-study led by Kim to define the framework of our senior rabbi search. In essence, we were seeking a mashup between Barbra Streisand, Jerry Seinfeld, Billy Crystal, Natalie Portman, Jack Black, and a little pink. When we met Rabbi Nevarez, the feedback from our search committee and community described him as energetic, bright, relationship-driven, genuine, engaging, articulate, and passionate. In other words, as Nicole eloquently said, it was beshert, love at first sight. And we didn't practice that, but I love that we did that.
When we checked the self-study, it was silent on the characteristic of being a bongo-playing Yankees fan. So we knew we were okay to proceed. Fortunately, the search gave us an opportunity to engage in person before the beginning of the pandemic. Because from the moment we met Rabbi Nevarez and Nicole, it was hugs all around. From our early interactions, they were just as interested in fitting into our family and being in community with us as we were in finding that for ourselves. In Rabbi Nevarez, we have found a true spiritual leader who is building strong partnerships within our community and outside of the 4 walls of Beth Israel. He has represented us on the news, at conferences, school board meetings, and local government engagements. He has brought to Beth Israel high-caliber speakers and community stakeholders and engaged us in impactful and critical discussions.
He may have come on board during a pandemic, rolling across the country in an RV with his wife Nicole, son Ethan, daughter Sophie, and family dog Sadie, and all their prized possessions. But that has not slowed him down or impeded him from being the rabbi we needed. San Diego is an incredibly diverse landscape, and Beth Israel's membership mirrors that diversity. Rabbi Nevarez's multicultural background and international experience is a perfect fit. He is warm, relatable, approachable, and engaging. He has lived up to and often exceeded what many of his references told us we could expect. In fact, our committee spoke to our guest speaker, Reverend Paul Alcorn, during our reference checks. So we are excited to have the opportunity to meet him in person this evening and welcome him to Beth Israel.
Despite that reference call with Reverend Alcorn, we still decided to engage Rabbi Nevarez. For nearly 30 years, Reverend Alcorn served as pastor of Bedford Presbyterian Church in Bedford, New York, a congregation known, among other things, for its commitment to community. Reverend Alcorn and Rabbi Nevarez jointly led service learning trips to Nicaragua for high school students and adults. They partnered on community programs combating hunger, homelessness, and bigotry. Reverend Alcorn earned his undergraduate degree from the College of Worcester in Ohio, and his Master of Divinity and Doctor of Ministry degrees are from McCormick Theological Seminary in Chicago. He is recently retired and now lives in Vermont. Welcome, Reverend Alcorn, and thank you, Senior Rabbi Nevarez, for joining the Beth Israel family. Don't forget to validate your parking.
Shabbat Shalom. If thank you is our first and best prayer, it seems like that is the place to start. So Jason, thank you. Thank you for your invitation to be here this evening and to share with you in this very special time and Shabbat service. I am more than honored. And more than that, thank you for your friendship and your faith, and for the journey we have shared together. And Congregation Beth Israel, thank you. Thank you for your welcome and for your hospitality in having me be here with you this evening and to have a few moments to share with you some thoughts and reflections. I believe it matters. Probably like yours, our home is filled with pictures. Curious about how many we have up on walls and in frames on bookcases. One morning when my wife wasn't around, I went around to count. I stopped when I got to 200. And that doesn't count the digital picture frame that's in our living room with rotating pictures every 15 seconds. But what caught my attention as I looked through all of those pictures again was a scrap of paper my wife had found and hung above a grouping of pictures that is at the top of the staircase. It reads, "The picture is only half the story." I invite you to think about that for a moment. For me, at least, and maybe also for you, the pictures in our home reach back or down and pull up to the present, both wonderful and poignant moments. Some capture those everyday moments that add up to a lifetime, like the picture of our son when he was 5 or 6 years old, standing with his foot on a soccer ball and a huge grin on his face. Or the picture of us standing in front of the ocean, arms wrapped around each other, watching the waves. And some of the pictures are more poignant. The picture of our oldest son holding his son for the first time. Or the picture taken after our whole family had gathered and been able to have dinner together, kind of a rare occurrence for our family because my wife and I and our family always lived some distance from where I grew up in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. But here was this picture of all of us after dinner. And it was the last time that we were able to gather as a family before my father passed away. The picture is only half the story. The rest, the important part, tells the story of our lives, what we remember and reminders of who we are and what we value, and of those transformative moments that shaped and continue to shape who we are. Why am I sharing all of this with you? Because there are actually pictures being taken this evening, but right here, right now, might be one of those moments for you to pause and take a mental snapshot, if you will, of what this evening is and who is here. Look around. Seriously, look around. Here you are, together again after being apart for so long, congregants and friends, here in a beautiful sanctuary which holds its own fair share of memories and in which prayers spoken, whispered long ago, echo still, gathered to celebrate the installation of your new senior rabbi and this. A Presbyterian pastor, a Christian minister, standing before you on the bema, having been asked to deliver this evening's reflections. I don't know about you, but for me, it's a first. In a moment in what it represents for you, for me, for Rabbi Nevarez, that I believe is worth remembering and holding on to and lifting up as one small step towards that which God intends for us and for all. As I thought about what I might say this evening besides my reflection on pictures, I found myself thinking about, why'd you invite me? Maybe it's because we have been both friends and colleagues for nearly 20 years. Rabbi Nevarez's faith encouraging mine, helping to make me a better Christian, and I hope my faith encouraging him, helping to make him a better Jew. As we work together to make our communities better and safer, not just for us and for our congregants, but for each and every person, feeding those who are hungry, providing a safe place for those who would otherwise be huddled outside, a safe place for them to sleep in the cold New York winters, sitting with elected officials and school superintendents to discuss how to respond to the anti-Semitic graffiti that was spray painted on one of our schools. Doing our best to be a presence and a voice and a witness for welcome and inclusion and respect in the communities in which we lived and worked. Or maybe it was because our congregations worked together for so many years in Nicaragua, building homes for families who had been living in shelters made of scraps of wood and metal and plastic. There we were, rabbi and pastor, Christians and Jews, working side by side. But I don't think it was just the homes that were important. There was and is also this. Rabbi Nevarez trusting a Christian pastor to help the youth from his congregation deepen their understanding of Tikkun Olam and what it meant and means to live in such ways that to help heal the world that God has entrusted now to our care and keeping, just as I trusted him to help the youth from my congregation learn what it means and meant to see and to treat the other as neighbor, whoever that was in our communities, and so better learn what it means to love God. Or maybe I'm just overthinking it. Where did I put it? Maybe he just wanted another New York Yankees fan here to celebrate with him. But in all seriousness, remembering so many of those moments and what they meant and how they shaped my life pushed me to think about it all a bit more. What was the reason, Jason, behind all of what we did? As I tried to find words to put around what I was thinking and feeling, I found myself turning here to the opening chapter in Genesis. Nobody has asked or will ever ask for my opinion, but I wish the opening chapter of Genesis was labeled prologue rather than chapter 1, because I believe it was written and placed where it was in order to provide a lens through which we are to read the whole rest of sacred text. written in the midst of the existential crisis of the Babylonian exile after Jerusalem and the temple had been destroyed and the king killed and the people exiled from what they understood to be the promised land. The question was, where is God in the midst of all of this? And out of that ruin and crisis and struggle emerged this incredible affirmation of faith. And it was good. I find myself wondering, Jason, is that a part of what we were holding on to as we did what we did? Knowing we are not there yet, but trusting that the promise and the possibility still lies before us, that God's intention for creation, the goodness often covered up, but still there, is worth believing in and holding on to. And for today, is that how you and I are called to live? Is such an affirmation a part of what is needed, the lens through which we are not only to read Scripture, but to see each other and to look out onto the world, especially in the tumultuous days in which we live? I wonder. And as that opening prologue of Genesis 1 comes to a close, we read these words. And God created humankind in God's own image, male and female, God created them. I have to admit, I did pass Hebrew in seminary. But the moment I got the grade, I pressed delete file. I have to admit I hold my breath offering a reflection on a verse from the Torah, which all of you probably know far better than I. But what stands out for me in that verse is the word image. As I understand it, that word is related to the word that a sculptor is used for what a sculptor makes. The likeness created by an artist capturing something of the essence for the subject. Here's what that means for me. You carry in your being a piece of the image of God. And so does the person next to you. And so does the person next to them. So when you all recognize and affirm that, a bit more of God becomes present in our midst. Then multiply that by all who are here, and then by all in the communities around you, and then outward into the world that God entrusts to our care and keeping. How much more of the holy becomes visible and present and transformative when we see and acknowledge and claim that promise for ourselves and for all others. Jason, for me at least, and maybe for you as well, these words are among those which provided the hope and the courage and the strength to do all that we did together and more. And so my prayer for you, and my prayer for you, Congregation Beth Israel, is this. May these words from sacred text continue to turn you in the direction of what might be and of what God intends, and continue to be the vision and the hope and the strength and the courage you need for the work God puts before you. And if I may, this, a 60-second postscript, an additional reminder and challenge for both you, Jason, and for your congregation. And I turn from the Torah to the prophets and to this verse from Micah. God has told you, O mortal, what is good. And what does the Lord require of you but to do justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God? For most of my life, I thought of doing justice and loving kindness and walking with God all happened in parallel, all happened at the same time. But lately I've come to think of this verse as sequential, one imperative building on the other. First, do justice and love kindness. Then, as a result, you find yourself walking with God. So my charge to you and to all of you is this: do justice, love kindness, so that you might find yourself blessed and walking with God into the world God continues to love so very, very much. Amen.
Thank you, Reverend Alcorn. We appreciate your insight, your wisdom, and your effort in coming out from Vermont to be with us here today, though I can't say that leaving Vermont in November may have been too much of a hardship coming to Southern California. So when I asked the clergy if they had any thoughts on what I should say when I addressed all of you this evening, they shared with me that they didn't have any thoughts on the matter, except that I should keep it brief. Thank you. I'm sorry, Jason, I'm not going to let you off quite that easy, but I do promise to be brief. I want to welcome all of you who've joined us tonight for this wonderful, and some have already alluded to, overdue occasion. Rabbi Nevarez, I look forward to looking back with you. I first came to know Rabbi Nevarez during our search process for our senior rabbi. I was honored to be asked and serve on the search committee. I met you on Zoom. Before COVID, that wasn't such a thing. And later in person when we invited you to our campus for an in-person experience and interview. 2 moments stick with me from that time. Number one, during the dinner with the search committee, we sat across from one another, and I was struck by your warmth and openness. I felt like I was seeing the real you, and I liked what I saw. You were genuine, intelligent, thoughtful, and most importantly to me, approachable. I also felt that there was no disconnect between who you put yourself forth as and who you actually are. There was no artifice or posturing. The second moment was after I got home that same evening. I asked my son, Alex, what he thought of the teaching you'd done for the religious school. He told me that my job on the search committee was over. We'd found our rabbi. I told him that we were still in the process of interviewing candidates and the process would need to continue. He expressed to me in no uncertain terms that would be a waste of our time as we had found our rabbi. Our search continued, and Alex never missed an opportunity to remind me that our job was already done and that we should just get on with it and hire you. When we reached the end of the process, and our conclusion was that yes, in matching with Rabbi Jason Nevarez, we had found our rabbi. Alex did what any self-respecting 12-year-old would do. He said, "I told you so." Rabbi Nevarez, we are lucky to have you. And you are lucky to have us. You have been presented with an opportunity. The rabbis before you have laid the groundwork for your future and your success. You have the opportunity to be a multi-generational rabbi, a rabbi that will keep ourselves well-balanced here in the present as we look forward and head into the future. You are my partner in leadership, my friend in my heart, and my rabbi in faith. I look forward to the future, and when we get there, all of us together, I will look forward to looking back at our legacy together, the legacy of the congregation of Beth Israel. It is now my pleasure to invite you to turn your attention to our screens. We have some well-wishers who are not able to join us in person but have sent along their messages. We'll be starting with remarks from Rabbi Stacy Bergman. Please watch.
Thank you, Congregation Beth Israel, for including me in this special and sacred Shabbat to install and honor Rabbi Jason Nevarez. Pirkei Avot 1:6 teaches, Aseh lecha rav, ukneh lecha chaver. Find yourself a rabbi, and you will find a friend. Our Mishnah teaches that we need a rabbi. We need a rabbi to teach us and to guide us. We need a rabbi to carry us through tough times and to help us celebrate sacred times. Indeed, for 15 years, Rabbi Jason and I worked together in Westchester. He was and still is my rabbi and friend. Rabbi Jason is a wonderful teacher. Whether a formal Friday night or holiday sermon, engaging with adults or kids, Rabbi Jason shares his knowledge and thinking in a way that's accessible, relevant, and stimulating, making our tradition come alive. Rabbi Jason is a compassionate caregiver and pastor. He understands how to be present and how to speak directly into the hearts of those around him about important issues like the challenges of parenting, substance abuse, the cost of holding a grudge. Rabbi Jason is a social activist. He practices what he preaches and is not afraid of hard work, even when it involves manual labor, to build homes for people in need. Rabbi Jason is a partner. He understands that to build a community of substance and meaning requires a team, and he empowers the people around him. Rabbi Jason is filled with spirit. His guitar playing inspires song. His warm smile and sense of humor inspires laughter. His kindness and generosity inspires a sense of peace. Rabbi Jason is a visionary who understands the world around him, the emerging issues and challenges facing not only congregational life, but also humanity. He champions justice for all people and is a builder of bridges to create a better and brighter future. But most of all, Rabbi Jason is a friend. He recognizes that all people are created b'tselem Elohim, in the image of God. He models this in his relationships with each and every one he encounters. Pirkei Avot teaches, Aseh lecha Rav, ukneh lecha chaver. Find yourself a rabbi, and you will find a friend. Rabbi Jason also knows, Aseh lecha chaver, ukneh lecha Rav. Make yourself a friend to your people, and they will make you their rabbi. Together, may Congregation Beth Israel and their rabbi, Jason Nevarez, go from strength to strength. Amen.
Congratulations, Rabbi Jason. It is a privilege and a joy for me and my congregation to serve alongside you, the people of the larger San Diego area. And it has been a great pleasure for me to come to know you as a faithful, brilliant, compassionate man. I hope that your installation affirms your faith, strengthens and empowers your ministry, and fills you with blessing. You bless us for sure. Congratulations, Jason.
Shalom, Rabbi Nevarez. Congratulations on your installation as Senior Rabbi at Congregation Beth Israel. I pray that the Lord grant you many years and that He guide you in your work, that He bring you much spiritual fulfillment. May your congregation be enriched by your labor. Mazel tov.
Hello, Rabbi Nevarez. This is Ian Kinsler, the San Diego Padres, also a representative of Team Israel in the Summer Olympics. I just want to say congratulations on your move to San Diego, and hopefully we will see you at the ballpark a lot this next summer.
Rabbi Nevarez, thank you for all you've done for Congregation Beth Israel and for our community. As your representative in Congress, it brings me great pride to know that you will lead this congregation with such wisdom, compassion, warmth, and inclusivity. Congratulations on your installation as Senior Rabbi. I know you will be a light for so many.
Congratulations, Rabbi Nevarez, on your installation. And if I said that wrong, you're going to tell me the right way. For 2 decades, I've had the honor of representing Congregation Beth Israel, first on the City Council and now in the United States Congress. And it's the oldest and largest congregation in San Diego, and they have a long and proud tradition with many members serving as leaders throughout the community in various organizations and businesses. And as someone who's been spending a little bit of time on the East Coast lately, I'm sure you'll find our winter weather a bit more welcoming than you may be used to. I look forward to working together with you, and I wish you good health and success into the future. Mazel tov.
Rabbi Jason, on behalf of all of your friends and colleagues at the San Diego Rabbinical Association, our little chevra known as Sidra, we want to say Mazel Tov and Yeshar Koach on this auspicious occasion of your installation as the senior rabbi at Temple Beth Israel. This is a wonderful moment for our community and for you and your family. It's one thing to become a new rabbi in a new community any time of the year, but to do all of this and to make the kind of inroads that you have had with your colleagues and with our other community leaders during a time of pandemic just demonstrates what an incredible leader you are. We're thrilled that we get to work with you for many, many, many years to come. May they be long and fruitful. Mazel Tov.
Hi, I'm San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria, and I want to congratulate you, Rabbi Jason Nevarez, on your installation. We had the opportunity to connect via Zoom back in June. I'm so grateful that this day has come, and I look forward to a long and productive relationship with you as leader of this great congregation. As a spiritual leader, counselor, role model, and educator, your local and international outreach, education, and social justice work are so invaluable. And with a true servant's heart, you personify the compassion taught in the Tanakh. In this new capacity, may you further the great work that you have been called to do. Shalom.
Thank you, Mayor Gloria, and thank you to everyone who shared their well wishes with us. The welcoming and onboarding of a new senior rabbi is quite an undertaking, particularly during a worldwide pandemic. Robin Spiegel and Wayne Schwartz were the perfect team and the perfect combination to help oversee this endeavor. I would like to invite Robin and Wayne to join me on the bima.
Shabbat Shalom. Wayne and I were privileged to be the co-chairs of the Senior Rabbi Transition Committee. Little did we know it would take a historic mark for the synagogue and happen during a global pandemic. This was certainly a challenge we didn't plan for and required quite a bit of creativity and flexibility. Everything we planned for had to be changed. The pandemic provided limited opportunities for the more traditional in-home and in-person gatherings that a typical transition has. We worried so much about opportunities for congregants to meet and get to know our wonderful new senior rabbi. Rabbi Nevarez rose to this challenge with grace and ease, as he has shown to be able to do in many challenging and difficult situations.
I don't know what else can be said. However, I pointed out about a year and a half ago, 18 months, sort of beshert, that when I first saw Rabbi's last name, it spelled out and sounded out to me as Nevarez, N-E-V-A-R-E-Z. Little did I know how prophetic that would be, given what we have continued to endure as a nation and a synagogue. But the rabbi has always shown how easy he has made it, although it hasn't necessarily been. I would admonish you, though, that maybe it won't always be easy, and you should keep your smile and keep your connectivity with the congregation. I've been privileged to be on a lot of committees and been your board member for many years, and this is probably the easiest thing that I've got to do myself. Because of Robin.
And because of Wayne. Looking back, Wayne and I feel that Rabbi Nevarez may have actually touched more congregants with his willingness to hold an exceptional amount of Zoom meetings to get to know our members. This was of the utmost importance to him starting from day one. He met with everyone from preschool and religious school families to our empty nesters and seniors, as well as our vibrant Torah study and minyan groups, to so many more over these past 16, 18, 20-ish months. Rabbi Nevarez, you continue to impress us with your willingness and desire to meet as many members as possible. It was through this process that we saw your ability to truly make lemonade out of lemons. It is no wonder that lemonade is your favorite beverage. It's so fitting. But on a personal note, Rabbi Nevarez, It has been such a pleasure to really get to know you, Nicole, Ethan, and Sophie. We have gone to spend many Shabbats together and have taken the time to develop a really beautiful friendship. My family and I are so grateful to have you all here, and we treasure the relationships that have developed. Your family embraced the move during the height of the pandemic with such grace, honesty, and humbleness. You jumped right into life in San Diego and modeled true chutzpah, as you didn't let the pandemic stop you from reaching out to the greater San Diego community and begin developing such important connections. Thank you for making the transition so easy for us.
I wanted to point out, judging by my gray hair, I represent a constituency of congregants that have been members for 40 years plus. And perhaps because of the graying of the temples, and I don't mean this one, but these here, we recognize that the continuum of the synagogue for over 150 years brings us to this point. So although it's very important for the rabbi, his family, and our congregation today, in the continuum of the Jewish people, and particularly the Jewish people of Congregation Beth Israel, it's particularly profound. And we appreciate everything that the rabbi has done and his family, and we look forward to the years to come.
So, on behalf of the entire congregation, we would like to present you with this gift. I'm going to spoil it for you. It's a yod and yod stand. The yod, which literally means hand, is used to keep your place when reading from Torah and leading through the Parsha each week. We are so thrilled to have you lead us through the next chapter of our synagogue life, and know that you will always have a steady hand to make the congregation thrive, be a supporter for all, and a partner in joyous occasions. Mazel tov.
It's my turn. And I was told I need to keep it short, but I don't listen. It's short enough. Ze hayom asa Adonai, nagila v'nismecha bo. This phrase from Psalm 118 says, "This is the day which God has made. Let us celebrate and rejoice in it." Each new day is cause for celebration. Not just those marked as special, but every day that leads us there. Every day we pay attention to each one is truly a gift. But this day is truly something special. In this week's portion from the book of Genesis, entitled Vayetze, 3 times in a single verse, we find the word hamakom, which means the place, inviting us to speculate on the mystical qualities of this particular spot that our patriarch Jacob is to take rest. Jacob arrives there alone, a stone beneath his weary head. He has a long way from home for the first time. He's a long way from home for the first time in his life. Jacob dreamed, and lo, a ladder was set on the ground with its top reaching into heaven, and lo, angels going up and down on it. Waking from his sleep, Jacob said, "Truly, the Eternal is in this place, and I did not know it." He was awestruck, and he said, "How awe-inspiring is this place. There is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven." By all accounts, Jacob had what we call a Shechianu moment. As the angels ascended and descended the sacred stairway, Jacob, in the wilderness, a place devoid of life, found reason to celebrate his life, to give thanks for his journey, and to look to the future with hope. Beth Israel is certainly no wilderness, but it is Hamakom. It is the place in which my and our journey now intersect. And in this place, over the past year and a half, we transcended the challenges by adapting and pivoting and evolving, allowing ourselves to ascend that sacred stairway, and along the way, finding the Shechianu moments we might have otherwise taken for granted or missed altogether. Those instances have led me and us to this moment. Here and present and reveling in Jacob's words, how awe-inspiring is this place. As I affirm my sacred commitment to this beloved Beth Israel community and uphold the ancient Brit, the covenant of the Jewish people, I am keenly aware of all those people on whose shoulders I stand, those who support and whose wisdom I have sought and will continue to seek. Allow me to name a few of those who have brought me and us to this She'achianu moment. To my Roshei HaChamim, to the wise ones who helped mentor me along the way, to the Reverend Dr. Paul Alcorn, what can I say? You are a gift to me and a gift to humanity. Your soulful teaching, your advocacy, your watchful eye on community and those in need, your vision for a better community, a better tomorrow. These are just some of the beautiful elements of wisdom that you have imprinted on my heart. The necessary ingredients needed to make impact large and small, to imagine a kinder and better community and world, to stop and to always remember, who is my neighbor? Whether on the streets of Bedford or the rural villages of Nicaragua, your impact on me has been transformative, and I am honored that you and Shodi join our community on this most special night. I am humbled to continue to do the work that is so very much needed. Thank you. To Rabbi Stacy Bergman, as you saw on the screen, who hopefully is watching at this moment, my friend, my colleague, my treasured rabbi, your insight, your compassion, your commitment to finding new and authentic ways to embrace Jewish life and identity are so rich. You have helped me to step out of the box and to find new and meaningful ways to embrace my role in community. Thank you for your ear and your confidence, for your enthusiasm, and for sharing your family with me these many years. I love you. I am blessed by the presence of many cherished clergy colleagues who are here today, civic leaders, community partners, a number of whom join us in this moment. To our Rabbi Emeritus, to Michael Burke, thank you for passing me the mantle of leadership, for your holy work in bringing healing and animating the better angels in our community. It means so much that you are here with us tonight, and that so many of you, all of our treasured colleagues, are here with us as we will continue to do God's work together right here in San Diego. And don't worry, we're just getting started. To my fellow clergy partners, to Rabbi Cantor Arlene Bernstein, to Rabbi Jeremy Gimbel, your commitment to Judaism, to this Beth Israel community, to each and every individual here and beyond these walls is nothing short of inspiring. It makes me incredibly proud to stand on the bima each and every week and to do this holy work alongside you. Thank you. To the elders in my life, my mother June, Zichronah Livracha, who knowingly or not, taught me more about life and resilience than I could have learned from any book. Her passion for supporting those in need was a model never lost on me. She taught the importance of being both street smart and book smart, and the need for both in order to make substantive change. To my in-laws, to my family, Sue and John Mayer, to Doug Ruskin, to Ginger Norton, to Joanna and Christopher Willis, who are watching virtually this evening, your unwavering support since roughly the age of 10 has been mostly in service as surrogate parents and family. You have seen me through so much. You have supported my academic and rabbinic pursuits, and the marriage and partnership to your daughter, with thoughtfulness and with kindness. Your academic insights only serve to enhance my rabbinate in deep and meaningful ways. I thank you. And we have our Shomrim, our guards and guardians of Beth Israel. To Leslie Mills, you are an executive director par excellence. You raise the bar with your professionalism, your strategic leadership, and your tireless devotion to Beth Israel over these 15 years and beyond. Thank you for being an incredible partner. Thank you for our wonderful board, who are here tonight. Can I ask our board members to raise your hands here? Our board members who are here tonight. Led by the outstanding Dan Jones, our immediate past president, Kim Corneau. Each in your own way guided us so thoughtfully through this transition with resilience, with love, and perhaps most importantly, dry and witty humor. And to the 12 members of our Senior Rabbinic Search Committee, led by immediate past president Kim Corneau and our board member, Allison Golding, thank you. Thank you for your directness, your sensitivity, your tough questions, and your vetting, and your vetting, and your vetting, and your vetting. All of you allowed me to articulate my authentic voice, and I am so grateful for your dedication to this process. Thank you for your faith in me. To Robin Spiegel and to Wayne Cohen, my transition co-chairs, to Robin, who has been a tremendous friend from the start and who, along with her husband Matt, literally helped to find our current home right here in Carmel Valley. We are blessed to have you in our lives. To Robin and to Wayne, thank you for pivoting and pivoting to support my unforeseen and fluid transition to this Beth Israel community. To our Yeladim, to our children, our youth, let me start with mine. Ethan, I'm over here. Hi. To Sophie. Remarkable. Being your dad, listen, being your dad makes me a better rabbi. Each of you teach me something every day. And I am profoundly grateful to watch as you continue to evolve and grow into your true, authentic selves. And to all of the beautiful, amazing youth in this community, you imagine, you sing, you wrestle, and you ask the tough questions. You will carry the mantle of Jewish identity and leadership, and I look forward to sharing in this journey with all of you. To our countless volunteers who do the heavy lifting quietly and selflessly, you help lift up those in need and make this community what it is. Thank you. To those on our staff who manage budgets and payroll, who stand guard for us and keep us safe, who teach our children, maintain this large campus, fill our minds with provocative programs and events, hold our community members in times of joy and sadness, and illuminate our prayers with soulful voices and instruments, which includes you, our beautiful friends, Heidi and Andy. Without all of you, we would not be the Beth Israel so many have come to love and to cherish. And where would any rabbi be without an amazing Rebbitzin? Nicole, you have made the role your own, and in truth, you set the bar quite high. Your love, your support, your editing acumen are just some of the endless ways you show up for me each and every day. This was not planned. You push me, sometimes not so gently, to always be my true, authentic self. You're my bashert. And while we may have not known at ages 10 and 8 that we were destined, our evolution into the partners we are today carries me and gives me all the feels. I love you. I am truly humbled and privileged and grateful to serve this most beautiful community. I awake each and every day thinking of the many ways we will continue to animate our better angels and always be our collective voice in service to the Jewish community, to San Diego, and to the greater world. Baruch atah Adonai, join me. Eloheinu melech haolam, she'achianu v'kiyimanu v'higyanu la'azman hazeh. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, who commands us, who sustains us, and who enables us to reach these moments of joy and blessing as we say, Amen. Thank you.
Sit. Soon. We now have a moment for a ritual of installation for Rabbi Nevarez. We are blessed that you are here, and it is our opportunity now to give you a blessing. So I want to invite all of our clergy who are in the congregation tonight, Jews and non-Jews, to come and join us on the bima, and our Rabbi Emeritus, Michael Burke, to come join us at the Ark. Won't you please rise?
Female Torah scribes in all Jewish history, and by the hands of hundreds of members of Beth Israel, men, women, children of all ages, up to the 90s, hundreds of them, showing their love and their commitment to this synagogue, this community, and this Torah. I now pass it to you with an incredible responsibility to help them write the Torahs of their lives, to help them create a Judaism they can bind their lives to. And along the way, may their love and their commitment light a fire in your Torah, the Torah of your life, and the Torah that you teach. Chazak v'amatz.
Thank you. Our God and God of our ancestors, bestow your blessing on Rabbi Jason Nevarez and this congregation. Instill in him wisdom and righteousness, steadfastness and devotion, as he continues assuming the position of Senior Rabbi of Congregation Beth Israel.
Grant Rabbi Nevarez a wise heart, candor, and courage. May he respond to every challenge with dignity. Implant within him a full measure of your compassion, that he might embody the words of our tradition.
Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, my God, God of our ancestors, I pray that you will be my guide as I humbly embark upon the task of leading this holy community. May we work together as sacred partners to fulfill the vision and mission of this Kehillah Kedusha. May I never lead them astray, knowingly or inadvertently, and may my hands and heart be ever faithful in serving you.
It was the privilege of the high priest Aaron to bless the people. It is our privilege now, as clergy, to bless you. We join together.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and guard you.
Ya'er Adonai panav
elecha v'chuneka.
May God's face shine upon you with radiance and with grace.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face be lifted up to you and grant you peace. Amen. And we all say together, Ken Yehi Ratzon.
Amen. Amen.
Peace and loving kindness.
Please be seated. We're seated.